She had always been in control, her life, her empire, every decision meticulously planned, and yet here she was, strapped into a sleek black wheelchair, staring at the ceiling of a dimly lit restaurant, wondering if happiness was ever meant for her again. Life had taken a cruel twist. A car accident had left her paralyzed from the waist down, and the once vibrant, unstoppable CEO had retreated into a fortress of solitude, leaving behind laughter, joy, and even the faintest hint of romance. Tonight, against her better judgment, her assistant had insisted on a blind date, promising a fresh perspective and someone different. She had reluctantly agreed, thinking it was better to humor them than confront the gnawing loneliness she had grown accustomed to. And then disaster struck, or so she thought. The man who walked through the restaurant doors was not the polished, tailored businessman she had been expecting. He was rough around the edges, his denim overall smeared faintly with grease, and his hands bore the evidence of labor, calloused, strong, unapologetically real. A mechanic. Her first instinct was to scoff, to retreat behind her mental walls, but something in his gaze, steady, unassuming, and strangely warm, made her pause. He didn't flinch at the sight of her wheelchair, he didn't offer pity. Instead, he smiled, a grin so genuine it could disarm even the most guarded soul, and said, "Hey, mind if I join you?" That simple question shattered years of isolation. Conversation began awkwardly, punctuated with polite chuckles and tentative smiles, but gradually, the walls she had built around her heart began to crumble. He didn't treat her like a project, a victim, or someone fragile. He treated her like a person, like an equal, and for the first time in years, she laughed, softly, then louder, until tears pricked the corners of her eyes. She shared stories she hadn't told anyone, memories from before the accident, fears she had tucked away, and ambitions she still dreamed of achieving. He listened without judgment, interrupting only to share his own stories from a life that was gritty, honest, and unexpectedly poetic. Time lost meaning. The restaurant faded into the background as the two of them navigated a conversation that danced between humor, vulnerability, and something deeper, something electric that neither had anticipated. When dessert arrived, he leaned in slightly, and with a teasing smirk, said, "You know, I never thought I'd meet someone who makes me want to sit still and actually listen. You're different." And she realized that, in his presence, she didn't feel broken. She felt seen, cherished, and alive. That night ended with no promises, no declarations of love, just a gentle handshake that lingered a second too long, and a quiet understanding that this was only the beginning. Weeks passed, and their connection deepened in ways that were both thrilling and terrifying. He showed up at her office not as a mechanic, but as someone who genuinely wanted to understand her world. He helped her navigate challenges, not by taking over, but by empowering her, showing her that strength came in many forms. She began to smile more, to walk with confidence in her own power, and even embraced moments of vulnerability she had once avoided. Their bond became the talk of her inner circle, not because of romance, but because it was authentic, raw, and transformative. She realized that life's unexpected twists, the moments that seemed like disasters at first glance, often carried the seeds of joy waiting to be discovered. And then came the day when she invited him to the company gala, a formal event she would have once attended alone, filled with stiff smiles and empty conversations. He walked in, still slightly disheveled in a way that made her heart skip, and yet he commanded the room with an honesty that drew people in. Together, they laughed, danced in small spaces, and stole glances that said more than words ever could. Employees whispered about the miracle of the CEO smiling again, and she realized that it wasn't a miracle, it was life, raw and unfiltered, bringing happiness in the most unexpected form. The mechanic had become her confidant, her anchor, and her reminder that joy isn't reserved for perfection, it's for courage, for taking chances, and for opening one's heart when fear threatens to take over. And as the night drew to a close, standing together on the balcony overlooking the city lights, she leaned into him and felt something she hadn't in years, a spark, a warmth, and the unshakable belief that life could still surprise her in beautiful ways. For viewers watching this story unfold, it's a reminder that even in moments of despair, unexpected encounters can change everything, and sometimes, the people you least expect are the ones who restore your faith in love, laughter, and life itself. So, if you enjoyed this journey, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more incredible stories that tug at the heart, ignite the imagination, and prove that miracles can happen in the most ordinary places. Hit that subscribe button now and join a community of dreamers, believers, and lovers of unforgettable stories, because the next story might just change your life too.